guys, you have no idea how happy I am. Not just because you guys are graduating and that's an amazing thing, but because I also went to Santa Ana Community College and I have a confession. I was on the 7-year program. It took me 7 years to get my AA. By the time I graduated, I was so tired, I didn't walk. So today I feel like I'm walking for the very first time, and I am so happy and excited to share this moment with you. I hope you know how much that means to me. I'm also so happy to be here because I from the bottom of my heart, think that community colleges like Santa Ana College are the most underrated institutions of higher education. They're fantastic. You have President Neri, and by the way, President Neri and distinguished trustees and guests and the faculty members, thank you all for giving me this honor and this privilege. You have no idea how full my heart is right now. And for you guys, by the time I actually graduated and was a certified meteorologist, I was on the 13-year program. I was a professional student, but it paid off because here I am today with you, getting to share this amazing moment. So when you feel that you're not going to see the end of it, that there's no end in sight, keep going, because I am here as testament that there is an end in sight, and it's worth every moment, and it's worth every tear, because sometimes there are tears. I have great hope and optimism because of how far we've come along in equity, diversity, and inclusion. I remember being a little girl, turning on the TV, and there was Laura Diaz, Tony Gonzalez, Mark Brown, Tawny Little, Connie Chung. Do you guys remember Connie Chung? Yes. These were all faces of color. These were faces that showed me that if I stayed focused and I worked hard, one day that door would open for me. Today, as you turn on the TV and you watch the news, pay attention. What do you see and who do you see? And how does that impact you? And what does that show you? How does that help you decide where you want to go and what you want to do? You guys, can I just say one name? Barack Obama. Not once, you guys. Not once, but twice. We did that twice. But the question now is, how do we go from here? How do we make sure that we keep moving forward? For me, that starts with the simple lessons that I learned from my mom. Health, mindset, and personal responsibility. These lessons have always been true. They're true now and always will be. And yet somehow, it feels like we're quick to take a pill. We're quick to point a finger when things don't always go our way. But I want to encourage you to stop and look in the mirror and see what you can do. What can you do for yourself to make sure that your future is not in someone else's hands? So back to the lessons that I learned from my mom. She used to say that food was fuel. Food is fuel. When I would complain about having lentil soup again, she would say, I'm not giving it to you because it's good for you. I'm not giving it to you because you like it. I'm giving it to you because it's good for you. And these are simple lessons that I learned by the time I was in high school. She would say, think of your body as a car. If you drive a regular car, you can't put diesel in it because it won't run. And if you have a fancy car that takes 91, don't put 87 in it, right? Your bodies are the same way. Take care of your bodies because you need your bodies to carry you for your lifetime. And what you eat and what you fuel yourself with impacts the way you feel and the way you think. Do you ever feel tired? And do you ever feel like you've got brain fog and you can't think clearly? Think about what you're eating. That really helps. And of course the sleep, that's always good. Although as a college student, let's face it, we don't always get a lot of sleep. When I was running cross country in high school, I always wanted the cheese roll. Man, did I want that cheese roll. It smelled so good. It's like baked bread right out of the oven. Oh, it smells so good. But I didn't do it because by the time I was in high school, I had picked up those habits from my mom. And I knew that if I ate that cheese roll for cross-country practice, it was going to be ugly. So I'd have the apple. Wah, wah, wah. Who wants the apple when you can have a cheese roll, right? But you do it because it's the right thing to do for your body. Today my mom is 85 years old. She still lives by herself. And that's all because she's taking care of her health. And her greatest joy is being able to live on her own. Because independence is freedom. The other great joy is that she can still cook for her children and her grandchildren. You guys, nothing feels good from what I can see to be 85 years old and still being able to take care of yourself. Lesson number 2, mindset. We were talking about belief just a minute ago. This is another one I learned from my mom. Lessons come in all ways, guys. My mom never learned how to drive because she was too nervous and afraid. She didn't speak English very well because she was afraid that people would laugh at her accent. My mom made my clothes as a kid. And when I was a kid, it wasn't very cool. It was like, ugh, there we go again. But by the time I was in high school, it actually was a little cool because I had the best prom dresses. Nobody was going to be wearing the same prom dress, and that was cool. So as a teenager, I would imagine my mom having a beautiful boutique decorated with heavy silk curtains and beautiful big giant bouquets of flowers that were fragrant. And she would make dresses and design them for fancy ladies that drank tea with their pinkies up in the air. And that's what I visioned for my mom. But that's not what she saw. By the time I started working in TV, I still wasn't making that much money, so my mom would help me out and she would make me dresses. And almost every time I wore a dress that she made, someone would send me an email and go, hey, where'd you get that dress? It's really pretty, I want one. And I'd say, oh, my mom made it for me. And I would beam with pride every time I sent that email out. I felt proud because you wanna know what? I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm actually ashamed to say this because she was my mom. But when I was a teenager, I resented her. I resented her sometimes because even a small grocery store transaction was a big deal and I had to translate it. I hated having to walk home in the rain and wait for a bus that was always late because she didn't know how to drive. And that taught me that mindset is everything. You guys, you have to believe in yourselves. In the 1960s, something was discovered called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is this study that says that your brain can make new synaptic connections. All that means is that it can make new electrical connections so that you can learn and you can change the way you think at any age, even at the age of 90. So, I'm going to encourage you to do hard things. Because the truth is, you can be really smart, you can have the best education, you can be really talented, but if you don't have confidence and you don't have belief, guess what? Making your dreams come true and making them a reality is going to be really hard. So you have to do hard things. You have to get up when you fall. That's called falling forward. And if you don't believe me, Denzel Washington said, if you fall 7 times, get up 8. You must get up and you must fight every day because life is not easy. The third lesson I learned from my mom is personal responsibility. No matter how sick she was, no matter how tired she felt, if she didn't go to work, she didn't get paid. And she had 6 mouths to feed, clothe, and shelter. Those kids were a lot of work. So she went to work every day, tired or sick, whatever it was. But that was the foundation for a good life, and that's what she taught us. She retired at the age of 73, working in a factory, wearing steel-toed shoes that weighed 3.5 pounds each. I know that doesn't really sound like much and it's not that impressive, but imagine this. Go to the grocery store next time, find 2 chickens that weigh 3.5 pounds each, and imagine tying each of those chickens to your ankles and walking around for 8 hours, 5 days a week with those chickens tied to your ankles. That's what she did until the age of 73. Hard work is the foundation for a good life. As we move on, and as you move on, as we all move on, we're not always going to get participation trophies, guys. That's the truth. We're not. Most of the time, we're only rewarded for our efforts. Trophies are something special. They are evidence that we climbed the highest, most rugged mountain to earn that symbol of excellence. There will always be someone better and someone worse than us. We are all born equal, but that doesn't mean that we are equal in talent, ability, or characteristics. Our Creator made us unique and one of a kind, with disadvantages and advantages. We all have them, advantages and disadvantages, good and bad, we all have them. These are things that we're born with, that we can't take credit for, we can't blame someone else for. That's just the luck of the draw. The question is, what will you do with what you have? What will I do with what I have? We have to take responsibility for our lives, because if we don't, someone else will, and that is disempowering. Taking ownership of our lives, you guys, is really hard work, but it's the ultimate expression of freedom. Owning our lives and taking responsibility for our lives gives us nobility, it gives us purpose, and most importantly, it gives us dignity. I was in remedial classes all my life, guys. All my life. I wasn't born in privilege. Spanish is my first language. As you heard Dr. Mary say, I was born in Mexico. I came here as an illegal immigrant. And the only reason why I'm standing here today is because I'm a fighter. My friend Suzanne once said, Vera, you're scrappy like a hungry chihuahua. I am, and I hope you are too. because life is not easy, and you have to be scrappy and you have to be resourceful. I believe in my heart that these simple lessons from an 85-year-old lady with only a 6th grade education are the keys to advancing and supporting equity, diversity, and inclusion. Stephen Covey is an author and a leadership expert. And he says that we are not who our circumstances are, but a product of the decisions we make. You've made really great decisions to this point, and I encourage you to continue that. He also says that the greatest level of maturity we can achieve is interdependence. That means this, you guys, interdependence. That means we work together. That means we support each other. The key to that is that first, we must be independent. In order to work together, we all have to be able to take care of ourselves. I can't help my neighbor if I don't know how to help myself. I have to be able to help myself and to lead myself so I can show someone else how to do it. We must all develop skills to succeed. Not just for us, but for the greater good, for our community, for our family, for our neighbors. When everybody contributes, we rise together to higher levels of equity. We can all bring each other up when we can take care of ourselves so that then we can reach back and say, come on, I've got you, and I'll show you what I know. I don't know everything, but you are welcome to whatever knowledge I have and whatever resources I have, and that's the way we do it. Each one of us has a champion inside. We have the tools and the capabilities to have and to design the life that we want and that we deserve. But to do this, we have to be brave. We will be required to show up when we don't want to. We will have to do things that we don't always want to, and that's called discipline. And discipline will move us into action when motivation and enthusiasm leaves us. Because it will. Motivation and enthusiasm are fleeting. And when they're nowhere to be found, you gotta dig hard and you gotta dig deep inside. And you just have to do the work. We have to dream big. And we have to set goals. Because a dream without a goal will always be a dream. Yes. And you have to set goals. Because a dream without goals will always be a dream. And with that, you need a roadmap. Because in order to reach those goals, you need to know where you're going. What's your roadmap? What's your plan? Because remember, if you don't know where you're going, guess what? Jump on any bus, because it'll get you there. So you have to know where you're going. There will be a host of people ready to help you, but you have to do the heavy work. I have to do the heavy work, because ultimately it's my life. They're my dreams, and it's only up to me to accomplish them. You have a staff, friends, and family that are here to help you and to support you, but you have to do the heavy lifting. Today I see the world differently and understand my mom differently. Now I get what her American dream was. Her dream was our success and our health. To her, we were all that mattered. She didn't care about a car. She didn't care about a degree. She didn't care about anything fancy. She just wanted us to live our best life. These lessons that I learned from her are priceless. They have gotten me to where I am today. Thank you. And these lessons are how I will protect and advance all the accomplishments that we have made in equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from the wise Tupac Shakur. The quote says this: I want to grow. I want to be better. You grow. We grow. We are made to grow. We either grow and evolve, or we disappear. Class of 2023, I am so honored and humbled by being able to share this day with you, and I just, congratulations, congratulations! Yay! Moms, dads, staff, congratulations to you all, because you guys have made this happen. Godspeed. Let's give our 2023 commencement speaker one more round of applause.